Good morning, everybody. We are back again for another another weekly roundup and recap of the trades that we're in, some things that we're looking at. As always, we're starting on EURGBP. As you can see, prices continue to respect the trend, and we had some nice bullish movement again last week. Again, we've only peaked at TP2 zone here. 300 pips is in profit, which is still only on the runner at the moment. But I did fear last week that we might have had some more bearish action to complete this sort of M pattern that was looked to have been forming. But as you can see, prices still continued in the trend, and we find ourselves in the TP2 zone, supply zone. But I'd like to see it broken this week, only because I've only got a runner still open at the moment, and obviously swaps will start building up and eating into the profit. So it's decision time whether to close that, because if we don't break this zone, then we could see a drop back in price, and then with swaps building up, it's pointless just keeping it open because it'll just start eating into your profits anyway. So if you followed me on this setup on EURGBP, I'd advise to do the same. Have a look this week just to see if we do break out of this zone towards TP3. If we do, that'd be great. If we fail to break it and we see some downside action, close your runner, and then we'll look for the next trade going forward after that, possibly from a demand zone. We might even fall back further in price to a zone lower that we can buy back in from. But yeah, again, it's just a watch over per this week to see if we break this TP2 zone or not and head towards a TP3 supply zone above here. Yeah, so with that one, we'll move to GBPJPY, and I gave a setup out yesterday, I think it was Sunday, to sell on the market open, which it did. We're very slightly in profit at the moment. Previously, I sold from this small little supply zone here. We did go in profit. We did have some good risk to reward return ratio on that. I think we went up to 1 to 4. My stop loss was hit at 1 to 1. As we saw price, it just got some very strong bullish action over the past couple of weeks, and we seen price push through my stop loss, push through the supply zone, and then we found ourselves in this supply zone at the top here. With Friday's candle giving us the rejection, it was NFP last week. That's one of my usual signs to enter a trade, which I did last night, this morning on the open. Sorry, last night for UK people. So yeah, I sent that chart out. So if you've seen it, I'm in a sell here. I'm looking to go back down to this demand zone here. Possibly, my ideal place would be the demand zone further below, which we got this rejection and retracement from last time. Ideally one right at the bottom would be a nice one to catch from. So if you followed me on GJ, sold today, market open. We had a nice doji upside down hammer closing this supply zone. So I'm looking for a price to turn back down, at least to go towards this TP1 range here, which is a good risk to reward ratio overall. I think that would be 4 or 5 R&R on that one. So that's the plan on GJ. So with that, we'll move to EURAUD, and I was looking for price to hold at this level here. We've had some strong bearish action from EURAUD, mostly due to the Aussie dollar gaining a bit of strength. It looks like we've found a bit of demand here, and we could push further back up. Yeah, I haven't taken a trade on this for quite a while actually. I've been concentrating on GJ and EURGBP and Bitcoin and gold mostly, but this has provided some opportunities that you could go in on. Mostly when we were down here, you could have keep holding. We've still made a higher high, a higher low, and then obviously we could look to push up now and make another higher high, because there is still some imbalances to fill here, and once we break this supply zone. So yeah, I'm not really looking at anything on EURAUD at the minute. You could wait for price to come back down this supply zone and gather some support maybe, but it's a bit choppy, and it's a bit choppy and a bit over the place at the moment for me on this pair. Without watching its movements currently, I haven't really taken notice on how it's moving, so yeah, so I'm going to pass on EURAUD for a minute. I'd like to see price come up and make some clear higher highs around these imbalances, because at the minute we're just ranging from this supply and this demand zone, and obviously currently we're just pretty much in the middle of it. So I'll wait for EURAUD to hit these bigger supply zones at top or the demand zones below before we look to take a trade on this one, and we can concentrate on the other pairs at the moment. So with that one, we'll move to GBPUSD, which I took a buy on from this zone here. Price come back down, we visited the demand zone, and then I took a buy, and then we had an instant reaction from that. I think we were up about 100 pips, yeah, 102 pips, which is 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. Since then we've seen price come back down, but we didn't have no wick on Friday, so it usually indicates there's not much more movement for that to come down, and as you can see the wick today is pretty small, and I'd like to see some more north pushes on this pair, hopefully towards this moving average that's coming down at least. As I say, we have even hit 1 to 2 reward on GU so far, so I think once we get 1 to 3, then I'll move my stop loss to 1 to 1 just to lock in some pips on that one, as I say, because it's due to the US dollar being heavily manipulated at the moment. Whether it's going to crash or not, nobody knows. People are expecting it, but whether it happens is another game. If it does, then it should prove good for this trade. So again, we're just holding and seeing what happens on GU. So with that, we'll move to EU, and I haven't took a trade on this for quite a while. As I said, I wanted to see price come up and make some more clear market structure that looks like it's turning bullish, and then we'll look to getting a trade on that, and nothing's changed with that. Bit of sideways action, we broke above this level, it's just moved sideways. Moving average is coming down, so I'd like to see some interaction with that first, and then once price starts trading back above that, then I'd like to go in on EU. But until I see some more higher highs and another higher low made, then I'll start looking to get a buy in on this pair. So yeah, I'm just waiting on EURUSD at the moment. So with that, I'll move to gold, and I was looking for a price to come back up to the supply zone for a sell. This little one that was broken here, it's a bit choppy at the moment, gold, but I'm still favouring a sell. These zones here, looking nice for a sell. Sorry. If we get a visit back up here, I don't think we're going to visit this supply zone back up at the top. Again, long term, looking for the buys right down at the demand zones. This monthly demand zone here that we've profited from many times. So again, it's just about selling when you get to these supply zones. But obviously, the times it has visited these little zones, the price has moved pretty quick. And I haven't had a chance to get in on it. So as I say, I'm looking for these types of candles to happen at the top here, similar to what we had on GJ, before I can get my position in on it, because usually I miss it looking at the daily charts only. So once we get one of them presented to us, then I will look for the sell to go down to get a buy on later on, a monthly demand zone below. So yeah, so that's what I'm looking at on gold, favouring the sells at the moment to look to buy later on. So as soon as you get an opportunity at a nice level, you can get a sell on if you want to. So with that, we'll move to Bitcoin, and I've marked out this little range here, the high that we made from that little breakout last week that we thought was going to happen. Price has come down, and again it found support at this level at 30,000, 29,600, sorry. But again, you can just see this little range here that we're not breaking out of at the moment. Today's candle's nice and bullish, so if we do get a breakout of above here, then it does look hopeful that we could move up. But what I don't want to see is, I don't want to see lower lows being created, which we haven't seen a lower low being made since the 12th of May, when price spiked down. You know, we've made higher highs constantly since, so depending on whether that wick will get filled or not, I'm not too sure. It tends to act it tends to act a lot different than forex pairs, obviously, because it's massively fundamentally driven by the whole crypto market in itself, and obviously the fight against fiat currencies. So as always, I'm favouring the buy. I'm holding a buy currently. Yeah, so looking for a breakout of this level at 31,800 to continue pushing up north. So that's it for me this week. Holding Euro GBP runner still. As I say, look out for this week. Look to break out the supply zone that we're currently in today. If it doesn't, then I'm going to close that runner, because swaps are going to build up, and then it's pointless leaving a runner open, because it's a lot smaller than my initial full position, and I don't want the swaps to eat up the profit. So if price doesn't break out and reach the TP3 this week, then I will close that position on Euro GBP. GJ, looking for price to come down from the supply zone. Tie in nicely with Euro GBP moving up, and the pound being a little bit weaker. But again, that can all depend on the strength of the euro for that move, and the strength of the Japanese yen on the GJ sell, because I am still holding a GU buy, but again, obviously the different currencies. So we're looking for the weakness in the US dollar for GU to go up. So yeah, a few trades holding open, as well as Bitcoin. Obviously we're having a long-term buy hole on that one. So that's pretty much it for this week. Let me know what you're trading. Any other pairs that you want me to have a look at, or any positions that you're in, or something that you think I might have missed. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next week. Cheers everyone, take care.